Hey there, my name's Eric with RegFox, and in this guide I'm going to show you how to print badges on site using a Zebra badge printer. Here is a sample 6x4 and a common one, also a 3x4. So I'm going to show you how to design a custom badge and how to print it, and I'll show you how it all works. So let's get started. All right, let's cover everything you need to have in order to have a successful on-site badge printing experience. So first, the badge printer itself. From that, we want to have the power adapter and also USB cable. And this USB cable also needs to have an adapter if you're using a MacBook that's going to convert the standard USB to USB-C to the side. Last, you want to make sure you have badge stock. It's really important that your badge stock comes with these calibration marks on the back. This is how the printer knows where the page begins and ends. RegFox is compatible with a number of different Zebra badge printers. Please be sure to check out our website for tested and approved badge printers, but this is the Zebra ZD621. It will work with a MacBook and also PC. If you're using our Checkin app and want to print through Bluetooth, it is compatible with iOS devices. So the first thing is, let's talk about the actual printer itself. We're going to power it on and it'll boot up and begin to calibrate itself. All right, now the printer is turned on and now we need to feed the badge stock through it and also calibrate the printer. Just a reminder, these black indicators go first. So this is going to show the printer where the page breaks are. So to feed the badge stock through the printer, you're going to open up the panel through the buttons on the side, and then we're going to feed through the badge stock and make sure to go under the guides. And if your width on the guides are too big, just make sure they fit the exact width of the badge stock. Pull it out there and then close the lid. And then from here, we now can hit the pause button to now calibrate the badge stock. Usually it will run through 1 or 2 pages here to determine where those black marks are. And now the badge printer is now calibrated for this particular badge stock size. If you ever need to recalibrate the printer paper, you also can hold the pause and the X button concurrently for a couple seconds, and that will also manually calibrate the printer that way as well. Again, it'll feed a couple pages through, looking for those black marks to understand what size of printer paper it has. A double-sided badge is actually going to be 2 sheets folded over printed. And so that is how a double-sided badge works. So no matter the badge stock you have, you want to make sure this line is facing out. The Zebra ZD621 is a USB printer, and so we're going to use a dongle that's going to convert the USB standard to USB-C for MacBooks. But if you have a USB port, you can just use that just fine. And we're going to plug it into the MacBook. At this time, your Mac may ask you to authorize the accessory. Go ahead and hit OK. Now that we're inside the page builder, we're going to go ahead and design our badge. We're going to go over to On-Site here and go over to Badge Printing. And here you can see we have the Create Badge button. From here we can choose our badge stock and make sure this corresponds to the exact badge stock you're using for the printer. I'm going to choose this 4x6 single-sided. And now this opens up a gallery of different badge templates I can use. We're going to go ahead and pick this first one here. You can give it a name if you want or leave the default and hit Save. And now this opens up the badge designer. So in here, we can rearrange all of the graphics here and add any custom text we want. So everything you see in here is just click, drag, delete, and you can add numerous things in here. And how this works is you're going to map now the data values from your registrant roster list to these placeholder text areas here. So we're going to add in here, we'll do first name, we'll go here and choose as last name, and then for the city and state, we are going to select those in here as well. So we'll do the city and state. This QR code will automatically swap out with the real QR code of the registrant. And this QR code can be used with our attendee app, which powers lead retrieval as well. Any custom text that might have just display for dates or schedules, you'll want to map this to something called custom text, which basically tells it to not look for any data from the registrant, but to use the standard text that you're designing on the badge itself. Let's go ahead here and delete the logo here, and we'll add in our own custom one. We're going to go over here to images, we're going to hit upload, and we're going to find our Dunder Mifflin logo here. Once you add it to the canvas, you can increase the size, you can rearrange it, and you can perfectly design the badge for your desires here. So once that looks good, we now can preview what it's going to look like with a sample registrant. So using this sample registrant list here, we can go and choose a sample registrant and preview what that attendee's badge is going to look like. Next, you want to assign this badge design to a certain registrant type. You can choose all registrants, where this will be the design template used for every single attendee of your event. If you want to have custom designs for certain registrant types, you can go ahead here and choose which registrant type it's going to apply to. Just make sure that you have a design for each registrant type here. And again, you can have multiple badge designs as you want, and each badge design can correspond to each attendee type. I'm just going to go ahead here and hit all registrants. So this is looking good. Now, if I want to test this design, I can go up here and hit pair printer. And now this is going to recognize my printer that's already plugged in. And now I can also print a test. If I print this, it'll print the sample badge here on my screen. And there we go. So that looks pretty good. I can make additional changes if I like, but that is how you can test the actual design. All right, if all looks good, we're going to head and save and close. All right, so now our badge design is assigned to our registrants. Let me show you how you can manually print a registrant on site. And there's a number of ways we can do it, and I'm going to show you how to do it from the Checkin app. But first, let me show you from the control panel and the roster. So I'm going to go over here to registrations, and with my printer plugged in, I can go to any registrant and I can hit view, and you'll notice that now there is a print badge on the right-hand side here. So you can search for a registrant and then hit print badge. You're going to confirm that you want to print to the Zebra printer and wait for it to print. And there you go. Bart has his badge and he is ready to go. And just a reminder again, this QR code will work with our attendee app for people using lead retrieval. Really cool. All right, so that's how you can manually print any registrant from the computer. Now, if you're using our Checkin app, you actually can also print wirelessly from an iPad or an iPhone. Let me show you how to do that. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to confirm and set up the Checkin app. And to do that, you're going to go back into the page builder, go to on-site, and go to the Checkin app. What you need to do is create an app key, and this is going to generate a number that you can insert into the Checkin app that's going to link all the registrant data. So we're going to give it a name. And then you're going to choose which data do you want to have shown in the Checkin app. And you choose it by looking at the selections on the left and push them over into the right. Then you hit create, and now we have an app key that is synchronized for this event. So when you open up the Checkin app, you enter that app key and all of your registrant data gets put right onto the device. All right, so now the app key is set. Let me show you what it looks like from the Checkin app itself. All right, so we have the RegFox Checkin app here, and the first thing it asks for is the app key. Now you can manually enter it in numerically, or you can use the handy scan key feature, which is going to open up the camera, and we can just scan that QR code there. And now all of our registrant data is saved locally on this iPad device, ready for check-in. Anybody who brings a QR code, you now can scan that QR code and check them in. You also can do a manual lookup, and you also can do self-service check-in. Now, if you want to print a badge from the Checkin app to the Zebra printer, you need to connect the iPad to the Zebra printer through Bluetooth. All we need to do is go down to settings, go over to Bluetooth, find the name of the Bluetooth Zebra printer. In this case, it's called ProdSpec Zebra. Tap the printer from there, give it a second, and now the iPad is now Bluetooth synchronized with the badge printer. I'm ready to go. All right, let me show you what the Checkin experience is start to finish, including printing a badge from the Checkin app to the Zebra printer. So your registrants are going to approach Checkin, probably presenting their QR code. If they forgot it, no problem, you can manually look them up based on email. So that QR code is scannable from the Checkin app. So from the Checkin app, just simply hit scan, which is going to open up the camera, and then scan their QR code. And in half a second, their registration details are flashed upon the screen, and now I can check them in. Now that I'm checked in, you now see there's a preview and print badge. When I tap on this, it's going to render the badge and make it ready for print. So as soon as the badge appears, I now can hit print badge. And there's my badge. How cool is that? So that is how you can do manual check-in from the Checkin app and print a badge wirelessly. Let me show you the self-check-in process now. So from the Checkin app, you can turn on self-check-in by going to the gear settings and toggling on self-check-in mode. This is now going to ask you for a password to lock the app into self-check-in mode. We'll just set a sample password and hit begin self-check-in. All right, now the Checkin app is locked into self-check-in mode. If I go to find, you now can search for the email address of the registrant and look them up that way. Have to type in the full email address and then they can be checked in. If you go back to scan, any registrant can present their QR code and to pull up the registration record. And from here, they then can preview and print badge as well. And so I can print badge, and just like that, my badge is printed. And there you go. All right, let me show you one last thing, and this is what we call the kiosk mode. It allows you to have the printer tied into a computer and then use that computer to register people on site. When they hit submit, it's going to automatically print their badge. So we're going to go back to the page editor, we're going to go back to the badge designer, we're going to make sure it's paired, and then we are going to choose the print from kiosk mode. And this is going to load our registration page, and it's going to issue a print on command upon registration confirmation. All right, so we have Jack's information all filled out, and then we're going to hit submit. And now on confirmation, I'm fully registered, and now the badge will print just like that. There's Jack's badge, he registered, and it printed all seamlessly just like that. All right, so we've shown you a lot. We've talked about the badge stock and the printer calibration, how to connect it to a computer, showed you the badge designer, how to print that sample. Then we showed you how to manually print any registrant from the roster list. We showed you the integration with the Checkin app, including self-check-in. And last, we showed you the kiosk mode where people can register and print all in one. It is a lot, but as you can see, it's really powerful. We're super proud of this. If you have any questions, please let us know. Our team would love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching this tutorial, and we'll catch you on the next one.